Morning. Welcome back to the Small Band Workshop. Boxing Day morning I got an email from Banggood saying, "Hey JP, do you want to try some of our tools?" I picked a couple out and this is one of them that I came up with. There was one other tool I chose and you will see that one later this year. But for now let's have a look at this precision mitre gauge. This is the model GD716 and it's an heavyweight CNC machine, aluminium components, laser engraved, perfect fit and adjustable bar. Easy indexing for 0, 15, 22, 30, 45, adjustable flip stop, anodised for durability, and fits a standard 3/4 by 3/8 of an inch mitre slot, which is a bit I'm interested to find out. Shiny. So presentation wise it looks quite good. So we've got the bar, aluminium, quite weighty, markings in inches and metric from 0 to 25 inch, 630, 640 millimeters. It's good quality etching, couple of adjustable handles, spring loaded, then what looks like a sliding mechanism inside. We have a couple of grub screws. I don't know if they're spare grub screws or they're needed in the build, but I do have an issue with grub screws generally, so spare grub screws would be good. A couple of flag stops, a knurled thumb screw. Feels nice and heavy. I'm sure that's aluminium, but it actually feels heavier than aluminium, but it feels nice in the hand. This bit I can't get out, and that's the bar for the saw. Grub screws down there, so that's the adjustment, and that is it. No instructions though. I know I joked about them on the last video, but there is no instructions with this, so we're going to have to figure it out as we go along. All we've got to go on actually is a picture on the box. So that extends it further then. Slides on there, that tightens up there. That now drops in there. I feel nice. Okay, so we've used that Allen key. I've got 3 grub screws which I've not found a place for yet, and I've got that which I guess is probably a replacement for that, or a different version of that. So that's a 0, so it pulls to move it to 40, 22.5, 60. Okay, so that's a spring loaded pull. Oh dear, wow, it's so cold in here today. Okay, so we've got it built up. It feels nice in the hands, other than it feeling so cold. Quite like that. Little flag stop on the end. The next thing to do is put it on the saw and see if it fits the T-tracks on the saw. I have a feeling if you're a Rage 5 owner, you might be disappointed. Yeah, just as I thought. The groove on the Rage 5 is not deep enough, so it's stuck up maybe 3mm proud. It actually fits the width well. And actually when you lock off that handle down, this grub screw comes out of the bottom. That's a shame. The depth of these grooves on the Rage 5 are a little bit of a bone of contention in Rage 5 owners and just not deep enough. Okay, so let's try the DeWalt. So that fits perfectly. And actually there isn't that much slot, but we can adjust that. But this bolt is still too long though. Probably needs 1/4 of an inch cut off it, or maybe not that much maybe, because it's just grounded in there. That fits okay. Let's see if we can adjust one of these screws. Wind these grub screws in. These ball bearings come out ever so slightly, and there's 4 of them. Just a tad more. Perfect. I've just had a thought. I don't know whether this is what this is for, because we've got no instructions. But maybe that goes on here and shortens it. It certainly makes sense. If it goes on there or not, it works perfectly. The next thing we need to do is calibrate it. I'm going to leave that so there's about 3mm gap between the blade and the fence, and we'll see how much. Okay, so let's set it at 300. I'm not quite sure which is a 300 mark. These inside measurements. So if that's 300mm, that's to there. That measures, that is 300, and that might be 1/2mm out. So therefore, for 1/2mm, so I'd left myself about 2 or 3mm in there, and I'm cutting, I reckon 1/2mm too small, too large. This is set at 300mm. So I think I just need to move that over 1/2mm nearer the blade. Now I know it's aluminium blade. I wouldn't have actually hit the... Yeah, that's 300mm. So basically you just need to set it so the fence seems accurate. The inside of these red markers are your guides. So you just need to set it so you've got about 2mm between your blade. Thing is, if I then move to an angle, that way for example, then I'm going to get past the blade. If I go another way, there. So if I set it at 22.5, then I would collide with the blade. The measurement's only accurate when you're cutting 90 degrees. Because if... Okay, so you're going to have to readjust this then and recalibrate it if you're cutting 22 degrees. So to me the measurements are only really much good if you're cutting at 90 degrees. Once you start cutting at angles, you're going to have to recalibrate the whole thing. So that's 30 inch then. I was trying to work out now. These are nice, these little sprung toggles. That means you can move them, get them out of the way. So to use the extension feed, it starts at 26 inch, that's 25. So if I move that out to say 30 inch, there, deploy my little flap. It's 30 inch. So it's just a case of pulling this out if you want 42 inch until it appears there. It's slightly the weight of it's taking that out. Let's cut some 45, shall we? Let's move this out to 45. There, locks in. 45 just sneaks past the fence anyway. Okay, that's not quite 45 degrees. I can't readily see a way that I can adjust the 45. Stop here does lock it off properly. There's no play in it. There's no slop in that. No matter which square I use, it's the same. I've never, in all the years of woodworking, I've never used a mitre gauge like that to cut angles. So I don't even know really how accurate that is compared to other versions of this. In terms of build quality, I'm actually really impressed. It feels really substantial, really chunky, and actually really well made. The laser etching is good. Cutting at 90 degrees on the saw is good. It's accurate. It's just that 45 degrees. And I can't just find a way to adjust it. That's the options I've got on the bottom, and there's nothing there that gives me an option to adjust from the 45 degrees. So then you're in the realms of just manually compensating for it. Fits the DeWalt okay. In ideally, probably benefit from a table saw with a bigger table, but I do know most of you guys are using job site saws like I am, where the table is not that big, so as you make your cut through the blade, wheel on the end of the guide tends to come out of the far end. It's hard luck, unfortunately, if you've got a Rage 5. It's not going to work on your Rage 5. Banggood has sent me this in good faith. They've asked me to do a review. They've sent me an affiliate link, which is actually down in the descriptions if you want to use it and think one of these be of use to you. I'll carry on using this and see if I can get used to cross-cutting with it. But usually I do my cross-cutting at the Mitre station, or actually at my little bench dog cross-cutting station. But if you are a out-and-out table saw user and that's where you want to do your cross-cutting on, actually for cross-cutting I think it's perfect. It's just at 45 degrees. Okay, so I've just been and had my breakfast and been pondering this for, first of all, trying to make sense of why there's this double flag stop, because you can't set them, they're all fixed to the same body. You can't set them independently, so you can't have two set independently to cut, say, a 300mm and a 600mm. You can't do that. And I wondered whether it was made specifically so it was, say, 45 degrees, that it was 300mm straight, 300mm at 45 degrees. That doesn't seem to be the case either. So I'm not quite sure where we've got a double flag stop. It looks good, and because we've got no instructions, it's hard to make sense of that. Because we've got this knurled brass knob that comes out and sort of rotates, you can set the fence manually. So even though I can't set it to 45 degrees in the lock position, I could sort of turn that a quarter turn and then set it manually. I'd have to set something like 46 degrees to get to 45, which of course is not the point. It's a bit silly doing that. These are retailing at €87, about £80. I'm guessing probably about the same in dollars as well. So they are substantially cheaper than the tool I think they're aimed at replicating, like an Inca or a woodpecker or something like that, which obviously is a lot more money. I just think in operation it's just not quite there. And it's not all the fault of this. Some of it's the limitations of the job site table saws. It might be perfect for you. I think I've given this an honest appraisal. Sometimes things like this are a bit awkward. Banggood sent me this in good faith. They didn't say what I could or couldn't say about it. I think I've done it a decent review. It's just a shame about that 45 degrees being a little bit off, and the fact that you've got to manually dial it in and there's no way to adjust it. Or certainly I've not found a way to adjust it. Right guys, well thank you for watching. Hope you found this interesting. If so, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see some more of my reviews and woodworking, then consider hitting the subscribe button. And until next time, bye.